Hey guys, did a quick video. I'm here in the Rio Grande, on the Rio Grande, in the Rio Grande, in New Mexico. Thought it was going to be dried up. It isn't. Surprisingly, there's plenty of water to cross. And that gave me the idea. I had a couple ideas for videos recently, and I hadn't made any of them yet. And this kind of trumped it all. It's an environmental / kit consideration video. Sorry, a little windy, knocked the phone down. It's an environmental and kit consideration video. Something I haven't had to deal with since living in New England, since living in Maine, where all the lakes and rivers are. But the environmental consideration is where you are, how wet is it, and how late in the season does water run? Because like I said, I thought I was coming up here and it was going to be dry, sandy riverbed, and it turns out to be running in mud. Now, the kit consideration in this is footwear. If you know that you're going to be in an area where you're potentially going to have to cross a river or be in and around a body of water, a flowing body of water, this is my opinion, you have to take your shoes into consideration. I don't think guys do, or most guys have like 1 or 2 pairs of shoes that they wear when they're kitted up, cammied up and whatnot. And like me, I wear my waxy boots almost everywhere I go. Coming down here, thinking it's going to be sandy, thinking it's going to be easy to walk across the river, and not so much. The mud just clings to it. It's like a second layer. Now imagine if you had treads. This doesn't have treads, so it smushes the mud out to the sides, kind of turns them into weighted boots. But could you imagine being down here with like Moabs, Merrell Moabs, or Solomons or whatever, walking through here, getting this? I mean, it's making a second sole on my foot. It's like I have shoes on. So I think it's just kind of like a reiteration, like you got to think about your footwear and the different things that you may run into in the environment you're in. I didn't think about, hey, the water might still be running, because I had called a couple weeks ago to a place right up near here and was like, hey, is the Rio still running? And they're like, no, it's pretty dried up. There's still some random spots of water. This isn't a random spot of water. This is it zigzags back and forth, so it's not like going straight down one side, straight down the middle. It's serpentines, it curves around, but it's still flowing. And at the shallowest part, it's just touching your ankles, but you still got the mud to deal with, right? At some of the deepest parts, it's, you know, pretty deep into the calf, into the shin. You don't want to get your pants wet. So this is the environmental and kit consideration is what footwear are you going to be wearing, that you got to take into consideration there may be X, Y, and Z. And how are you going to cross that body of water? How are you going to tackle that obstacle? For me, I have no problem getting my feet muddy and wet. And to be honest, if I had my day pack, after realizing, walking around just a little bit, I would have taken my boots and socks off. I tie them to the top, clean them off, tie them to the top of my day pack, and I would just, if I, especially, it's easier to travel here up this river, up and down the riverbed here, because the foliage, the plants on either side are so thick and dense. There's a couple animal runs, but even now, this late in the season, when everything's had so much time to grow, you can't move through there. So you have to move up and down the riverbed, which tactically isn't the best idea, because one, you can be tracked, even with trackless soles, and even with the proper anti-tracking measures, the shit is so, it's just a mess, right? So, you know, I came down here, I wanted to make a different video, but I was like, no, it's kind of actually important, because it's November in New Mexico, and I have running water, which, as you've all seen in my other videos and my other posts, I haven't had to deal with once since living out west here. So it just threw me for a curveball. I was like, well, fuck, I gotta take my shoes off, roll my pants up in November to get to wade, to get through the Rio. And like what I was just saying, if I had like my day pack and I was going to be here for a while and I knew, like I'd walk down, oh shit, I'd take my day pack off, take my shoes off, clean the mud off of them, strap them to the top of my day pack, and then I'd just go around here barefoot. Because yeah, there's sticks, but there's really not a lot of pokey things here along the river. And it's late enough in the season, a lot of the garbage that the Rio flushes down at the beginning and then stuff gets deposited through the winter months. This is as fresh of a riverbed as you'll find. Like, it seems like it's just receded in the last few weeks. This is what's left, and now it's kind of just cleaned, right? So to come down and come through here, you know, walking through here barefoot, you really don't have to worry about like glass, pieces of metal, shit like that. I've been going up and down and there's nothing. There's no like real garbage. So the one terrible thing about this mud, and it'd be interesting, I can't shoot here. Be interesting to do like a mud test with the mud here, because this isn't like Ian McCollum mud test mud. That's desert dirt and sand, but it's fucking sticky. It's sticking to everything. Like not even clay. It's stickier than clay, almost like a putty, a gluey type of substance. You wouldn't want to get it like on the working parts of your rifle. You wouldn't want to get it on anything you don't want to get dirty. So yeah. So back to the beginning and the main topic. Kit and gear considerations. What footwear are you wearing? How many different in one instance? So today I'm going to X. What footwear am I wearing? But what are the different environmental considerations that I need to think about? Like, it rained a week ago, but is there still standing water, like in the mountains with mud or marshes and stuff like that? You know, the route I'm planning, 2 years ago I did see this, but I haven't seen it since. Whatever weather, environmental, mud, snow, you know, wherever you, sand, things like that. You gotta think about that, right? You gotta think like, okay, well, what if I do come up against mud? What am I gonna do with, what shoes am I gonna wear? What am I gonna do with my shoes? That kind of thing. Because yeah, I didn't think so, but I can, you know, like what was it? There were some Navy SEALs in Vietnam. They wore what, fucking blue jeans, rolled up a little bit, and they went around the jungle, especially along the deltas and the rivers, barefoot, because the fucking jungle boots would just get stuck, clogged down with mud and water. And yeah, you could wear the sandals that the Viet Cong wore, but even the Viet Cong and the NVA would go barefoot in those marshy, wetter areas, not jungle necessarily, but like along the deltas and the rivers. They'd go barefoot because even their sandals would get pulled off in the mud. So I hark back to that. You know, they did that days at a time in the jungle, along the water, and barefoot. If you don't like mud between your toes, suck it up. It's very squishy. But yeah, so environmental considerations. What could you potentially be running into the environment that you're going into, even if you've been there multiple times, and you know, oh, it's going to be like this. But what if, right? And the kit consideration, footwear. Like I wear my waxy boots all the time. I might have wanted to wear my sandals today, potentially because I'd be near a body of water. However, I didn't know it was going to be wet like this. So even if I wore my sandals, I'd probably end up going barefoot. You know what I mean? So there you go. Environmental kit consideration. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going up and down. There's just some nice fresh tracks, little tracks. I'm just fucking around like usual. Boys are asleep. Sarah's reading. I get a little bit of time to myself. Beautiful view, huh? Robodelo Mountains here in New Mexico. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Really, I don't know, I can't see the time on it, but as quick as I can make it. I hope you kind of understood what I was trying to get at. So, all right, you guys have a good one.